Tonight, anger on the streets as Wellington stands defiant against council mergers. Bathurst and Oberon to become a super council, but one party's far from impressed. Local stars tackle a unique challenge. It's called Derny Racing and it's only for the very fit.
And after a sweltering hot weekend, a cool change has moved in. But what's happening for Christmas Day? Details shortly.
This is PRIME7 News at 6 with Freya Cole.
Good evening. After thinking about it for a couple of days, most small councils who have been told they'll be merged into new super councils still don't like the idea. The 10-step process, which will slash the state's councils from 152 down to 112, gets underway next month. The peak body representing the state's councils is furious.
The state government announced its plans to slash the number of councils in New South Wales a week out from Christmas. It says the move will save taxpayers $2 billion over the next 2 decades, and money saved will go into improved infrastructure and services.
That's what communities want to see. They want to see more roads being built, more footpaths, swimming pools, parks and gardens happening in their local areas.
Local government New South Wales is still trying to make sense of it all.
There were some shocks in there, there's no doubt about that. There's currently a lot of disappointed communities and councils across New South Wales, both metropolitan and regional rural, that some of them are gobsmacked.
A 10-step process will get underway in January. It will include a public consultation process and reports and reviews by the Boundaries Commission.
This will give the community an opportunity to have a say. The community, through the Boundaries Commission process, will be able to go to a public inquiry. They'll have an opportunity to put their submissions online, so they will be able to have input into the process.
The President of Local Government New South Wales is questioning just how independent the process will be.
The part that's wrong with that process is simply that the government is asking their servants to prepare the report. So in other words, bureaucracy will more than likely give their master the report that they're after.
Ultimately, it's up to the Minister for Local Government, Paul Toole, who'll make a decision on each proposal. Kathleen Curry, PRIME7 News.
Wellington is one town that has not welcomed the news of a proposed merger with Dubbo. They are defiant and committed to standing alone.
If the government thinks that we have been fighting up until now, let me tell them face to face, the fight is just beginning.
The gloves are off and Wellington Council has come out swinging. The news of a proposed merger with Dubbo is being felt like a kick in the guts.
Very, very angry and very disappointed, to say the least.
Locals agree.
Not the best thing at all.
We'll be forgotten. You know, we're a good community.
All Dubbo's going to worry about is the road through to Dubbo, not actually what's here.
When the news was handed down on Friday, local member Troy Grant reminded Dubbo and Wellington that it was just a proposal and that discussions were still welcome.
They will get their say, as will the communities. This isn't a fait accompli.
But the Mayor questions that argument.
To say it's only a proposal, I truly believe the government has made up its mind. We talk about consultation that is supposed to take place in the future. Well, where was the consultation at the beginning?
If the proposed merger does go ahead, the concern is this new super council will be very Dubbo-centric, with only one, at best two, councillors representing the town of Wellington. Mayor Jones says that simply isn't enough.
Wellington will die because everything will go to Dubbo and we won't have any representation.
Because you usually have 9 on a council, so 7-2, where are we going to win?
The majority of our community is absolutely devastated with this. They fear for the future of our community and in fact have some have actually said that Wellington will end up being a ghost town.
Dubbo Newsroom with reporter Evie Madden. Evie, residents clearly are not happy. What else are they concerned about?
Freya, we were very hard-pressed to find anyone who welcomed this news in Wellington. Everyone was concerned about representation, but there were also concerns about rates. The state government has sold that mergers will help to keep rates low, but council and locals question it.
Victoria and Queensland suffered exactly the same fate. Rates did go up, they didn't go down. Services didn't get better. In fact, they stayed the same or got worse. And I fear that is going to happen in this proposal as well.
I can see advantages and I see disadvantages. Either way, we're going to end up paying more and getting less.
Mayor Jones also expressed fears for the amount of jobs that will be lost and what that will mean for their small town. But at this stage, Freya, both Dubbo and Wellington will be doing everything they can to stand alone.
Thanks, Evie. Evie Madden there with that update from the Dubbo newsroom. To the south now, and there's just as much anger and concern in Oberon. The Oberon Shire has been listed to merge with Bathurst Regional Council, and they're not happy about it.
The message is loud and clear from Oberon.
We are reaffirming our position to stand alone. We will be fighting hard through the Boundaries Commission to retain that position. We'll be putting in a strong submission.
Oberon has been fierce in their opposition of a merger in the past. They'll continue to fight despite a merger proposal put forward on Friday. But Bathurst Mayor Gary Rust says there's no need to worry, as Oberon won't be left out.
That we will be working in full collaboration with all the communities involved to make sure that they have the same level of quality service and amenity that other areas enjoy.
The Boundaries Commission will soon move in. In 6 months we'll find out what shape the new combined council will take, and where will the $10 million merger incentive be spent?
We would be very supportive of any projects that Oberon have in mind.
Despite the optimism from Bathurst, Oberon isn't convinced.
We don't have a lot in common with Bathurst. Bathurst is a big city. It's city-centric. It's development crazy. We don't want that for our town.
But I do understand their concerns, and we will listen to those concerns, and we will work towards an outcome which will have the voice out there represented.
Floyd Corsh, PRIME7 News.
Police have not yet identified the victim of a fatal crash on the Newell Highway overnight. The crash happened at around 10:30 between Forbes and Parks. When police arrived, they found a Mitsubishi sedan in flames after it had crashed into a tree. One man died at the scene. A second man was treated for injuries at Orange Base Hospital. Police are still trying to determine what caused the crash. This was one of 4 fatal crashes in New South Wales over the weekend, and it's triggered another warning from police for all of us to be aware of speed and fatigue. Retail, entertainment and hospitality workers could take a hit to their back pocket. Penalty rates on Sundays are set to be axed. Business groups say it'll help ease the pressure, but unions insist they'll put up a fight.
Thousands of people go to work each day to make ends meet, taking advantage of Sunday rates. But it's all set to change.
I believe once it's the expectation that it's normal to shop or go to a cafe on Saturdays and Sundays, then perhaps penalty rates do have the opportunity to be readdressed.
Is the weekend beginning to feel a lot like any other day of the week?
I think they should get rid of it altogether, to be honest, to be completely honest, because it's just a normal day, it's nothing special, it's just Sunday.
Still just a normal day, I mean we still get paid, so if you're working, you're working.
Coughing up and paying workers a higher wage on Sunday is tough.
They do affect us. We only open for breakfast. It is hard when you're paying, up to $64 an hour for a chef.
However, there's plenty of ways to solve the issue.
I disagree with it. I think penalty rates should stay as they are. There's other ways around it. You employ younger kids. Kids are out there looking for jobs. Kids are keen. Give them a go. Train them right, and they're capable of doing the job.
It's an opportunity to employ more staff.
Will enable new people or unemployed people to have access to jobs that might not currently be available. So I see it as an opportunity for readdressing a situation.
Union groups are gearing up for a fight to save local workers.
Well, we'll be campaigning long and hard to stop any reduction in penalty rates. We've been out in regional New South Wales already once this year, and we'll be back in regional New South Wales to talk to workers about how they can get active to defend their weekend and save penalty rates.
Eloise Sawyer, PRIME7 News.
Well, a very welcome cool change swept across parts of the region today. Here's Maddie with more details.
Thanks, Freya. We had some scorching hot conditions across the weekend. Perfect weather to go and do some water skiing out at Lake Warringah. This photo here was sent in by Luke, who was celebrating his 21st birthday out at Lake Warringah. So happy birthday to you, Luke. Quite in contrast to what we had today, though. We started to see that cloud cover and rain moving in. We are expecting to see decent rain as we move through tonight and tomorrow as well. So please do take care. Zooming in, though, and taking a look at what happened with tops today. Orange, a top of 24, really warm overnight, dropping down to 18. Parkes had 6 millimetres of rain between 9 and 3 p.m. this afternoon. Cobar hit 24, and look at that. There's only 1 degree difference, between the overnight low and the daytime top. 36 today in Gilgandra and 35 degrees in Dubbo. Is it going to cool down even further? Stick around. I'll let you know right after sport, Freya.
Thanks, Maddie. Coming up in the local news, $1 billion Dubbo mining project approved. How many jobs will that create? And why has the Royal Far West climbed aboard a Sydney to Hobart yacht?
And at 6:30, 12 homes destroyed and 9,000 hectares burnt as crews get on top now of blazes in Victoria. A driver dead after his car burst into flames in a shocking collision. And William Tyrrell's parents write him a heartfelt Christmas message. All those stories and more. Join us tonight. That's live at 6:30.
Stay in touch 24/7 with PRIME7 News.
The state government's approved the establishment of a zirconia mine 25 kilometres south of Dubbo. The open cut mine will be operated by Alkane Resources. The project will create between 300 and 400 jobs during construction and employ 250 permanent workers when complete. 85% of all workers which will be employed will be locals. The $15 billion project needs an environmental protection licence before it becomes a reality. Alkane Managing Director Ian Chalmers expects the licence to be granted early next year. Work on design and basic infrastructure on site should start by year's end. This year's Sydney to Hobart yacht race will have a country feel. One of the yachts racing, Williama, will be branded with the logo of country children's charity Royal Far West. The yacht's owners are hoping the branding will raise awareness about the charity.
In 5 days' time, Richard Barron begins his 14th Sydney to Hobart yacht race. But this year is different because he'll be racing his 40-foot yacht, Williama, with country charity Royal Far West in mind.
My grandfather was the doctor in Manly in 1924 when Stanley Drummond and he got together. Stanley Drummond raised the funds in the country and identified the kids. My grandfather was the doctor who looked after them.
Royal Far West branding is on the yacht. The charity provides health services to children living in rural and regional New South Wales. Stephen San Lorenzo is the part owner of Williama and a former Royal Far West board member. It was his idea to have Royal Far West branding on the yacht.
I think that's it's a compelling charity. The work that Royal Far West does is fantastic, and getting involved and meeting the people that are delivering the services is probably the most impressive thing.
The Sydney to Hobart is one of the country's most watched sporting events. The owners of Williama are hoping the Royal Far West branding will get noticed and spark interest in the charity.
We were thinking about how much coverage that the race gets, and we thought it might be a good idea to put the name on the side of the boat.
Williama will have a crew of 10 when it sets sails on Boxing Day. Kathleen Curry, PRIME7 News.
Forbes Shire Council's waiting on toxicology tests as warnings about an algae bloom in Lake Forbes remains in force. Warning signs are in place after the council detected a blue-green algae outbreak late last week. The algae poses a serious threat to people and animals. Samples taken at the weekend are currently being tested. Results should be known tomorrow. Until the all-clear clearance is given, it's best advised to stay away from the lake. Across the state, the HSC is over, but with pressure high, not everyone got what they wanted. But whether you missed out by half a mark or 50, there are plenty of ways to get your dreams back on track.
With the HSC done, there's a chance you're not where you want to be. For some, bad luck has left them without an ATAR at all.
Dropped one of my subjects and I had a TAFE course that didn't work out, so it meant I had to find something else to do.
Shana has worked hard in a Certificate 3 course throughout the year. Now her plans are back on track.
I definitely have. I got into Charles Sturt University. It's pretty good. It's definitely been reassuring for me to know that I actually have gotten into uni and I do have a way in.
Youth Services say that's just one of many paths you can take.
TAFE pathways, uni pathways, even just working in the side of admin or a cafe and trying to get your skills up in life.
Even if your first job isn't the thing you wanted, Employment Services say it's important to keep busy.
I know it may not be your dream job, but it's always easy to get another job when you're in a job. It's harder to get the dream job when you're not working at all. You build relationships, you get to talk to new people.
Sometimes even star students need a break from education. Jack doesn't plan on looking at his ATAR. While happy with his performance, he's taking a gap year.
Do what you want to do. You want to take that break, you do that. Better to do that than just, rush into uni.
If you think uni is your thing, offers are released on January 20. William Kelly, PRIME7 News.
Coming up, big changes confirmed for Central West Rugby. And what's Derny racing? Well, we'll show you next. Tour de France cycling legend Mark Renshaw lined up beside 4 of the Central West best track races in the Bathurst Derny Challenge, and few thought he'd be troubled by the local quartet. Dubbo's rising star Adam Mitchell held on to claim a big win, but while Renshaw was beaten, it was a special night for him and his dad.
Adam Mitchell in the green representing Dubbo, the finish of the hour-long Derny Challenge. He had to go full gas to beat one of Australia's greatest cyclists.
I looked down, I was at like 200 beats a minute, so I really couldn't go much more. So I just was looking at the clock every now and then and hoping it was going down, but geez, it was going slow.
Mitchell snuck off the front with about 10 minutes to go. It proved to be the decisive move. It could be just the boost the young star needs as he weighs up his next move in the sport.
But just finished my HSC and got my marks during the week, and I got into uni, and so I don't really know where it's going from here, but we'll see.
There was standing room only on hand to witness the upset. Mark Renshaw was gracious in defeat. He got a good workout before he heads to Adelaide for bigger things.
And I tried to close it down in the end, but we ran out of time, and ultimately I just don't have the legs to win at the moment, but hopefully in the next few weeks I can get ready for the Tour Down Under.
It was the first time in Mark Renshaw's life that he has ever competed with his father, who paced him on the Derny.
He's done countless hours on the motorbike with me, so very proud to be out there with him.
Matt Hogan, PRIME7 News.
There'll be 3 conferences for the first time ever in the GrainCorp Cup rugby competition next year. Another first for the one-tier competition is there'll be a women's sevens rugby competition to accompany the men's comp in the new look Southern Conference.
There has always been a GrainCorp Cup North and South. Now, for the first time, there will be a Central Conference.
And what's happened is, over the years, the number of clubs participating has increased. It's been a very popular competition for the smaller towns.
New teams Cootamundra and Temora will form part of the Southern Conference, along with West Wyalong, Condobolin and Grenfell. The Southern Conference will include a women's sevens comp.
But Southern Inland Rugby, where Temora and Cootamundra come from, has a very strong seven-a-side women's competition, and we said we'd be able to get a meaningful seven-a-side competition up for them.
The new 3-tiered comp has hit the spot.
Like the first part of the season, we're going to be travelling probably an hour, like furthest away will be Yeovil, which is an hour and 10, hour and 20 from here, so yeah, we're quite happy with that.
Yeovil will come down to the Central Conference from the north.
Yeovil was grand finalists, like they lost in the grand final in the Northern Comp. We're playing Canandra, who we beat in the grand final in the Southern Comp, so we've done ourselves no favours at all.
After 10 weeks of home and away rugby within each division, there'll be 6 rounds of inter-conference games. Matt Hogan, PRIME7 News.
A little cooler today around our region ahead of what looks to be a very warm Christmas week. More with Maddie next.
Hello again, lovely to see you. Now, as we move through tonight and tomorrow, there is a very high chance that we will see rain almost right across our region, and it's all thanks to this trough that's pushing across New South Wales. Now, we could see anywhere between 5 and 40 millimetres of rain in areas like Cowra, Parkes, Orange and Bathurst. Now, we are going to see really cool conditions across our area tomorrow, too, cooler than what we had today, and it's all thanks to that southerly change that's been blasting in. Let's take a look at what's happening with those temperatures tomorrow, and you're not going to believe some of these tops. Mudgee, a top of just 18 degrees. Orange, not even getting to 20 tomorrow, a top of 19. Lithgow, 14. Oberon, 14. That's more like winter than summer. Cobar, 29. And Coonamble, a top temp of 30. And as you can see, most areas are expecting to see at least some rain. We are going to see some storms developing too, so please do take care. We could see some isolated, really heavy downpours. Coonabarabran, 25 degrees on Wednesday. As you can see here, heavy rain out towards Coonabarabran, Mudgee and Lithgow. Dubbo, a top temp of 27. So temperatures dropping in Dubbo for Wednesday. Cobar back down to 31 degrees. On Thursday, it's going to heat up a little bit for Bathurst, Oberon and Lithgow. In fact, in Oberon and Lithgow, it's going to be 5 degrees warmer on Thursday for Christmas Eve than what we are expecting to see tomorrow. Let's take a look now at what's happening with that sun. It should be popping up tomorrow morning at 5:45. And the forecast for Friday for Christmas Day, we could see some more scattered showers. At this stage, it is going to be fairly grey and fairly windy for Christmas. Freya?
Alrighty, thanks Maddie. Well, that's it from us tonight. Don't forget, you can have your say on Facebook and watch tonight's entire bulletin online. Just search YouTube for PRIME7 News Central West. Up now, Daniel Gibson with the day's national and international news.